He's going to launch his investigation. He announced it yesterday, speaking on who's organizing and funding these deals in Clip 8.
Senator Josh Hawley joins us now. All right, Senator, Tulsi Gabbard just said that these riots in L.A. and all over the country are orchestrated. Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right, Jesse. These aren't spontaneous at all. They're about as authentic as AstroTurf. They are bought and paid for flash mobs. And I want to know who's doing the buying and the paying. That's why today I've launched an investigation. I've sent multiple investigative demands today to various groups out on social media claiming they are paying for this. They are organizing it. They are financing it. We've all seen the videos of vans driving up, handing out gas masks right before somebody blows up a car. It's time we found out, where's the money coming from? Who's really behind this? I think the American people deserve answers.
Now, when you look at his letter that he sent out yesterday and the demands in it, folks, if they follow through with this, you're going to get results. And, you know, we're up against this like perpetual glass. I call it a glass ceiling. But it's like we keep running into this glass where it's like, okay, name the topic. It's the same story. Epstein list, anything else. It's like, okay, we're right here. It's like, and what we want is right over there. And then you start to walk into it, and it's just like, there's just like this glass barrier. It's like this invisible barrier. It's like, what the hell? Why can't I get the Epstein list? Like, what? So it's the same thing with this. All the demands that he put out yesterday, if they follow through on it, they will find out who's funding and organizing it. And then what happens? The criminal referrals will end up where, ladies and gentlemen? Pam Bondi's desk. Pam Bondi's desk. Now, he's not the only one investigating this. Now, Trump said the DOJ is investigating this. I don't know if anybody has faith in Pam Bondi anymore. She can find a mean cup of coffee. She can find a mean coffee shop, and she'll take care of that. She'll shut that little coffee shop down for being pro-Palestine. But, you know, criminal referrals that are actually dealing with real corruption that her duties would fall under, she, you know, nowhere to be found on that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Hawley here. But, you know, I have an idea. And maybe this is kind of the final test for Pam Bondi. She already looks like she's ready for Fox News. I mean, she doesn't come off as a attorney general to anybody anymore. She comes off as a Fox News host. Seems like that's more what she's interested in. So maybe that's fine. Maybe that was the deal from the beginning. She was just filling the seat until Trump was ready for somebody else. We'll see. Of course, Trump is going to speak positively about her. Of course he is. I think if Pam Bondi fails, because this is an easy one. This is an easy one. It really just comes down to will and guts. And if Pam Bondi doesn't have the will, and if Pam Bondi doesn't have the guts, then it's time to find someone that does. Maybe that someone is Josh Hawley. Maybe Attorney General Josh Hawley is what we need. Just an idea. Just looking for a solution to problems. But if Hawley produces results in his investigation and he gets all the demands that he's seeking and he puts a criminal referral on Pam Bondi's desk and she does nothing with it again, then I think that's it. That's the final straw. I think that's it. And I'm not here making excuses for Pam Bondi. I think, you know, I was off the Bondi chain about as quick as anybody. I saw that deal almost immediately. But with some of this stuff, it's like, who knows what she can or can't do as far as if there's even anything left of the Epstein files. Now she blew it by lying to the American people and doing that Bindergate stunt. That's on her. But yeah, if there's nothing to be found, then okay, there's nothing to be found. But lying about it, that's a different story. So I don't know, just coming up with ideas here. If we go through that process and Bondi does nothing, I think it's time for Attorney General Hawley. Just, you know, it could be somebody else, but I like that. Here's Kristi Noem taking a different approach to investigating the organizers and funders in clip 10.
with their leadership, and we also have the IRS here that's helping us track how these violent protesters are funded, what NGOs out there, what unions, what other individuals may be funding these violent perpetuators that are in these protests that take people who may be wanting to come and be peaceful, but instead turn these into very violent activities that go after law enforcement. That's just simply not acceptable.
But where does it end up? Right there on Blondie's desk, which seems to be a black hole. They did actually arrest. They found one of the individuals that was going around handing out those bionic face shields, which I guess there were hundreds of. And they're about $60 a pop. So, I mean, that's well-funded stuff. Somebody's paying for that stuff. So they arrested an individual who was handing them out. So there's a lead for them. Of course, we provided them multiple leads yesterday. And there's some follow-up on that today, too. But let's get to that in a second. Same press conference had some other fireworks. But first, here's acting ICE Director Todd Lyons, who blames Democrat Party rhetoric, and he's not wrong, for these riots in clip 11.
The rhetoric of a lot of elected officials and people, what really caused this. We've heard so much. If ICE had a criminal warrant, if ICE had a judicial warrant, cities would cooperate with us. On this past Friday, you saw that. You saw the men and women of ICE and these other DOJ partners executing a criminal warrant on a criminal immigration enforcement case. Yet the city turned against us and we had violent protesters. And that just won't happen because the men and women of ICE won't be deterred by this. We're going to be out there every day conducting our law enforcement mission. No protesters are going to block our way because the brave men and women of ICE and these DOJ partners you see up here, along with our partners with the Los Angeles Police Department, are going to ensure that we handle these protesters, but we are out there safely conducting these operations and we will get the worst off the street.
Well, that's exactly it. And this needs to be the message. Every single member of the Trump administration, every single leader in these law enforcement agencies that's not a corrupt Democrat needs to be saying the same thing. They need to be coming out in unison at every press conference and say, this is a Democrat Party riot. This is Democrat Party terrorism. They did this. They called for this. Unequivocally, make sure the American people understand that. Absolutely, every single day. And if you want to throw the mainstream media in there with them, go ahead. But definitely make sure that sticks to the Democrat Party.
Thank you for watching my video. Please visit my website at SamsTwitch.com. My X profile is at x.com/SamsTwitch_Sam. My YouTube channel is at youtube.com/SamsTwitch. I post videos that I cannot post on YouTube on my BitChute channel, at bitchute.com/SamsTwitch.